And then he said he needed more rubbing alcohol.
What for?
Well, he said we needed it.
And?
And he left.
When?
Today.
Wait, you said on the phone he was missing.
Yes, his mind.
What?
Oh, I don't know.
Everybody panics.
I don't.
Really?
I have nuts, flour, crushed red pepper.
I bought rice.
With your condition?
Well, desperate times.
Look, I'm not going to be able to help you this time.
With
your,
fine. You want to smoke a joint?
Yes. Cool.
Where did you get it?
Found it in my purse.
Santa Claus?
Sure.
For real, do you have a dealer?
I'm not with the Mexican cartel.
You should.
Why?
Well, you have that face. Everybody gazes when they look at you.
Years of boxing will do that to your face.
See? That's a bonus.
Being ugly?
Tough. Ready to punch someone?
No, thank you. Is this how I'm supposed to feel?
What do you feel?
Nothing.
Huh.
I thought I'd be high in seconds.
Wait a little.
How long?
Well, it's not timed.
It isn't?
For some, they don't feel a thing.
Maybe that's because I've been monogamous.
For those who have not sinned, it makes them join a monastery.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Of course, it's the next level of chastity. I heard in France that they ran out of condoms.
Oh là là. C'est trop beau pour être vrai.
You high?
I studied abroad, remember?
How many lovers did you have?
In France?
No, overall.
Too many. Yes?
Never mind. Oh, I need a drink. Listen, what if he never comes back?
My husband?
Yes, that one.
So?
Will you be happy?
I never thought of that.
Think now.
Why?
The world is ending.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
Look, he's not coming back.
Is he dead?
Maybe.
How'd he die?
A bus ran over him.
Okay, will I be able to identify his body?
He was cut in pieces.
Oh, too gruesome.
It collects your mind to its deepest grotesque levels.
And,
And then you'll realize you're not afraid anymore.
but reality differs from imagination.
Does it really, though?
Yes.
Look, he's not coming back. Cause of death is unknown. Maybe he left you.
Does he have a lover?
You want him to have a lover? He is free.
He is not. He is married.
So you've said you've been monogamous.
I have.
Look, he's not coming back from the store with rubbing alcohol.
Yes.
What's your reaction?
He's late.
Or
The store ran out of rubbing alcohol, so he went someplace else.
is he really that obsessed?
What do you mean?
What does he have to sanitize exactly?
Well, he reads the news. It's terrible out there.
Yes, but it's not going to solve anything.
Whatever makes him think clearly.
That's the thing. He's not.
What would you do?
About?
This new virus. It's declared a pandemic.
Lots of sex. So, bye.
What?
I have to leave.
The streets are closed.
Since?
This minute.
By who?
The mayor.
I'm going out.
You can't.
What? Are they going to arrest me? What if I have an emergency?
Other than saving your own life?
What if I need tampons?
What?
I am a woman.
I know that.
So I bleed.
Okay, stay put.
And die?
You can't die from not wearing tampons.
What if I cut my veins?
Huh?
It's an exercise. Tap into the darkest corners of your mind.
It seems effortless with you.
I do this daily.
Why?
Because life is boring.
So, okay, you cut your veins. Yes, my lover is gay.
That's why?
Isn't that a good reason?
Maybe.
No. He decided my vagina was not good enough for him.
Or?
No, he decided that. Now he wants something else.
And you cut your veins to show him?
No. I want to die.
That's too dark.
Do you think the police will let me stay indoors to bleed out?
Probably not. If he comes back, will you be happy?
Relieved.
Will you still want him?
I've lost my sex drive.
No one loses that.
Yes. Replace
it.
It's not a library card.
Look, you are not a nun.
I know how it ends. I've had sex before. Okay.
And?
I know how it ends.
Does he make you shift underneath your clothes?
Like how?
When he touches you.
Oh, I keep my clothes on.
You and your obsession for Japan.
I like to travel.
Be authentic.
What do you mean?
Shunga only works for the Japanese.
Not true.
Go there. That's all I'm saying.
I should. What will sushi taste like? Will it taste the same?
It sucks here. It's made for the tasteless American palate.
I want to go when the cherry trees are in blossom.
Fine, fine. But answer my question.
Which one?
If you will be happy seeing him return home.
I'd tell him it was all for nothing.
What?
He went through all this trouble, and they just announced on TV that only a certain part of the population gets it.
Which one?
Women.
You're still playing the game, right? Are you scared?
Nope. Just intrigued. Maybe I needed to push myself to fall into the abyss of my brain. Ancora imparo.
What does that mean?
I'm still learning. Michelangelo said it in his 80s. I'm only in my 40s. Lots to learn.
Unlearn. The new virus.
Yes.
Only women get it. Continue.
That's what I tell him. And then I would take the bottle of rubbing alcohol off his hands, undress myself, and when I'm fully naked, I'd pour all of it on him, sanitize him.
Yeah. So he feels the burn.
Maybe he's not coming back. What time is it?
I don't know. Check your phone.
Oh, my battery's out. Oh well. I'm hungry.
Me too. A bit. Something light. Let's have a fondue night. You have cheese?
Chocolate fondue.
Even better.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole Biancasino.
And I am Andrew Smith.
And together we're the co-artistic directors for Project Y Theater Company. We thank you for watching our online production of Cliffhanger by Catalina Florescu. And we are happy now to host a short talkback with the playwright and with Hilary Ward, the director, and tonight's live audience in the Zoom room. So welcome to everybody here.
Yes. Welcome. We're all very happy that you're here. I guess I will kick this off with a question for Catalina. This play was written specifically off of a prompt about plays written to be performed on Zoom. And certainly working on Zoom is different than working in person. So I guess my question is, were there any elements of creating this play that really surprised you in working on Zoom that was really exciting to you?
Thank you to Hilary and Andrea and Olga, first of all, and thank you to the organizers. The history of this play is very simple. I was teaching face-to-face at Pace University in New York City when all of a sudden we were asked to transfer into Zoom. And I thought, what was that? And the first reaction was to write something because I couldn't find my words either in my native language, Romanian, or in my English. So writing for Zoom for me, even to this day, is an adventure in a way, because I experiment with my own writing. But going back to March, I was having the best time of my life because I was teaching this interdisciplinary course for actors and for writers. And my partner was telling me, we were talking about theater, and I said, I like to write stage directions. I like to write certain words to be with a specific emotion, because maybe obviously I like to control the text. And he said, no, 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 don't ever do that again. Just write without any stage directions. And I guess this works in Zoom. The good thing about this play is that I talked to Hillary once, and that was it. So I let Hillary continue what I started in March. So Hillary, how was it for you?
Yeah, so Catalina, like we said, we had our meeting, and the other thing that she's not telling you is that she didn't assign lines to the women. So she really left it up to us to find who was saying what. She said you can go back and forth, and you guys get to decide who these women are. And she gave us a little puzzle to figure out. And she said to us also, English isn't my first language, so if there's anything that's not coming off the tongue or that you want to shift, let me know. And I really, really resisted that, because I loved that it was where I think a lot of the plays that I've been seeing over Zoom have been about how do we get together. I think that this play starts because somebody's reaction to COVID is like, get me out of here, and he runs. And so I loved that. The play felt like it kind of turned the situation we're used to seeing on its head. And I think there are parts of the language that do that. I love that there are all these little twists and turns that you don't necessarily expect, and they aren't strictly realistic. And so we really tried to lean into that feeling with it.
Any comments, questions? Lisa?
So something that has struck me with these, and what you said, Hillary, about it wasn't necessarily realistic, is that I was thinking how we've been watching a lot of theater performance on Zoom, trying to make it work in this format. And so there's something really refreshing about seeing something that is made to live in this. And what each piece has allowed me to do is go, oh, this is an ordinary event, but something extraordinary is happening. And it's definitely because of this virus, but also the moments that are extraordinary in our lives that perhaps we overlook or we forget. And I was just thinking about how all of a sudden she has these imaginings of her husband, and the two of them go down this road. And it just sort of, it was actually really tragic, but then humorous, because they were going down a rabbit hole that eventually came to, of course, a very deep realization for her. But it started from a fantasy, which I found really intriguing and thought-provoking.
I love that the last thing that Olga's character realizes is that she's hungry. And there's something really fascinating in this play that I think Catalina weaves in throughout about desire and hunger and waking up. And it just made such an evocative picture of probably who this woman was before she had to hide in her kid's bedroom to smoke a joint, like that's the one private place that she can find. And so I loved so much that Catalina gave them this image of like ooey gooey sumptuous food to feast on, and that these women were gonna have a feast out of this emergency, this crisis. Yeah, so just, I think you're right, Lisa, that it gives you this just beautiful becoming that they get to step into, awakening.
Leah?
Yeah, this is something I was really struck by in this piece, because I've been thinking a lot about like the rules of Zoom theater, and most of the Zoom theater I've seen, it has been like pretty realistic and pretty like real time, like two people in squares next to each other. And so I found it really, really fascinating to see an example of something that didn't feel exactly like that, and that feels like it like breaks some of those rules in certain ways. And I was curious for both of you, because I don't know how much of this was directorial versus like what was in the text, but about the decisions to do things like speed it up at certain points, or like to have one pace rather than two at certain point, or just those decisions to sort of like break the Zoom theater rules, and how that was working for you guys in your minds, because I think we're all trying to figure out like what are those rules, and then like how and when do we break them.
Yeah, Catalina, I mean, I'm curious what you think, because again, she didn't write those in the text. And I did a very straight Zoom side by side when we were recording. And I was finding as we were going through it that I just started having the idea of like, what if I mess with this a little bit? What does it do for kind of where these women are emotionally? So I'm curious what Catalina's experience of it is, because it wasn't something that I set out to do till I really got into putting it together.
Well, I guess it started with just one line. We don't have sanitizers. And from that, my imagination took me to places I did not anticipate. I grew up with falling in love with absurd theater, Ionesco being obviously, and Beckett, the other one. And this was the simplest play that I wrote, very organic. Maybe the two women are actually just the same woman facing herself in the mirror, because there is this absurd exercise to push herself to the darkest corner of her mind, because we initially it was in March, now we are in October, like so many of you guys said, but in the beginning we didn't know anything, and it felt that this woman would discover things about herself maybe she was afraid to face. And if there is something I have learned during these terrifying months, especially not being able to travel back to my family in Romania over the summer, is my relationship with time, first of all, and my relationship with what I want to do next, because I have become even more critical than I used to be. So this woman discovered something about herself, things that maybe she accepted previously in her life, but they are just not there. She should be alive after this moment.
Yeah, and I just wanted to lean into, like, there is a camera in our faces, so my instinct was to lean into that and use it and manipulate this little box and figure out how I could mix it up a little bit and achieve things that are hard in Zoom, where we would have cutouts, we'd have lights, we'd have curtains, we'd have the ability to do, quick set changes, all those kinds of things that we don't have in the box. So let's see what we can do with the phone.
During watching the play, I think you did switch some of the lines, which was interesting, compared to what originally I had in mind. So it was very refreshing for me to discover that who's who's saying what now. So thank you.
Yeah, Paul Belton.
Yeah, sort of a structural question about Zoom. As a beginner looking at it, and maybe you've solved these issues, but to me, it looked like with Zoom, one of the issues is to avoid what you're watching to be sort of a documentary. you want it to be the richness of a three-dimensional play. I don't know if that's possible, but can you do for instance, a Virginia Woolf having Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor moving around, well, and Elizabeth Taylor being in one screen and Richard Burton being in the other, and ultimately affect that to do something similar to a play? Is that possible? Or is the Zoom structure totally alien to that?
I'll just say I worked on a project recently there, and Jen and Hillary may have as well. But a lot of people, there's a lot of pioneering happening within Zoom. I mean, these plays specifically, you know, the task was, or the prompt, the invite was something that's meant to be on Zoom. So we didn't really, I mean, Hillary had some of that gorgeous fast motion and other elements to it. But on the whole, we decided I guess I shouldn't speak globally, but at least for our piece, we embrace that to sit in the Zoom reality. But there are a lot of things happening that allow you to actually break the structure of the Zoom, allow you to break out of the boxes, allow it to appear like two people are in one place. So there's a program called Isadora that a lot of people are using. So I think the longer we're on this platform, depending on what you want it to do, you know, people will keep innovating and will find other ways. I don't think it will ever be a replacement. It will be an innovation. But I think there's a lot of developments in that direction.
Very good. Thank you.
And I think because of these developments, when things quote unquote return to normal, there probably, obviously we will be getting back to in person, but I don't think we're ever going to go back. There have been too many gains, too many things unearthed, too many stones turned over to really go back without being changed by all what this has, how this has changed our art.
And I think also the chance, you know, I forget who was saying it, to collaborate with people that normally you wouldn't get to work with. That, you know, Jen and I worked on a play earlier this week, and people were in Ashland, we were in LA, there were people in New York, there were people in Colorado, which was really fantastic. And a wonderful experience. So I love that I'm getting that opportunity to collaborate with people that we wouldn't have a chance if we weren't in the same space.
Just a tiny little small thing that I just